Yes, guys. Hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is good. How are we all? How are we all? Can't wait for the game. Genuinely so excited. Been a busy week. This is going to be a short one because I've not had time to do a full report. I just had time. I've got like 30 minutes before I've got to get back to it. So we'll get this out. Let's go. Opposition review. Bristol City at home. And a lot of this is going to be talking about the Daniel Farke press conference as well, which, as someone who's learning about football and wants to learn as much about football and as much about what goes into management and goes into coaching players, systems, tactics, that press conference for me was beautiful. Because that's what I love. I like managers talking about what they believe in and what they strongly believe in, and and it's really good. And when they're going off like that and they're in their element, and this is what made them. The things they were talking about, this is what made them the people they are. This is what made them successful because they believe in what they're doing. And it was genuinely quite an inspiring press conference for me personally, as someone who looks up to coaches with the experience of Daniel Farke. What did he talk about? So it was interesting. We'll get into the interest stuff, but we'll talk about the injuries and stuff. So Sam Byram again will feel how his body feels. He knows his body better than anyone else. If he's not quite there, you don't want to risk that. You don't want to risk a 3-month injury, for example. But it seems like he might be pushed more into it, given Shackleton is out, which is a bit of a blow. Luke Ayling will be in, obviously, I'd imagine, at right back, and hopefully we have Sam Byram. Look, last game for an international break, get through that, hopefully. He's got a nice extra week off, so hopefully he can play, hopefully get into it. He said Jen Anthony with injuries, 50-50. Again, played well, definitely grew into the game, needs a bit of momentum. And he'll really go into his flow with Anthony. He'll just be really effective for us. So I really hope he's all right. Because if not, we're kind of quite thin in the wide areas, to be honest. So although we do have James and Somerville, so we're all right. For that one-off game, we'll be fine. So yeah, that's it on injuries, I think. Obviously, the other guys are out. There's a few 50-50s or whatever, but we're all right. And let's get to the meat of it. Bristol City, what do we need from this game? What's going to happen? What do we need as Leeds fans? And they talk about the atmosphere, and they spoke about what came before, and Daniel Farke spoke about really needing that bubbling atmosphere Leeds United fans are famous for, because I think it's true. I've spoken to people who've been at the ground, and I was at the ground, Watford and Cardiff. There is an air of flatness there. It's still great, but it used to be the best, and it wasn't even disputed, right? But there is an area of flatness. Even Ellen Road at the start's a little quieter than it used to be, And I really need that. And Daniel Farke was speaking about it. He needs that proper cauldron atmosphere back at Ellen Road, because that drives the players. That gives them 20% more in the tank. And look, these fans, we need something. Do you know what I mean? It's a tough time. We've been through it. We're always nervous about something going wrong, and it's hard for us to realise that actually this is a good thing, and we need to back them. But hopefully we get that tomorrow, because we need it. Before the international break, everyone just go crazy. I wish I was there. I really do. But funds are dwindling at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be there next month for sure. And that's talk about the interesting stuff. Going into the game, questions, talking about the striker, talking about the 10, talking about the 9. And I said in my video yesterday, go check that out. I said, forget about forget about him being a striker, forget about him being a 10. Let's focus on the role and the attributes of the individuals. Because that's what Daniel Farke is trying to find, the correct attributes in the correct area who can affect the game the most. He spoke about the difference of Perot here and Swansea. He spoke about how the system's completely different. His reliance in the game is completely different. At Swansea, he was more reliant to be the man. He was the man. He was the guy that won them games. Here, in a team where you're going to create more chances and score more goals, there's less reliance in terms of build-up on him. His role in this team is to score goals. That's what he wants him to do. He also mentioned, forget the position. Situations in the pitch where he's in front of goal and his touch wasn't on it. These are the things, regardless of where you're playing, those are the things you've got to improve on as well. Those are things you've got to find consistently in that position. And it was so interesting because, for once, and I don't usually do this, to hear a manager, someone that's trying to learn from these people, say something similar to what you said, it's quite like, okay, so I am starting to learn it. Because I spoke about Jorginho Rutter at the start of the season, and now I said he's not a striker. But then I wasn't thinking about the role Jorginho Rutter could have in this side. Right? I was too bothered about Timo Pukki. and the role he played and how Jorginho isn't that player. Whereas what I should have done is understood actually Daniel Farke will adapt the striker role like he has at other clubs where every striker he's had, bar one, has had golden boot. Because that's the guy he is, as he said. He's a striker. This is what he does. Gets strikers and he finds a way in which they can be most effective in the team to score goals. And as he said, Pirro is doing that. Jorginho Ruta is getting involved in so much of the play. Difference is the position. In the position is the role and the attributes of the player in each role. Like he said, and like I mentioned in my video, Jorginho Ruta can stretch the play. He can drift out wide. He's quicker. He will press better. These are the attributes he needs from his 9 in this system. Joe Perreault doesn't have those. Joe Perreault is a finisher, a goal scorer. And he's got to be ready for little moments in games where he has the opportunity to score, which he did against Southampton, you know. He did against the other day with that through ball for Jorginho Ruta where he should have finished. This is what Daniel Farke wants from him. That's his test. To be that guy when you have the roll around the box. Look at his goals for Swansea. So many of them were not even that close. They're in and around the box. Anywhere in and around the box, he's usually deadly. He just needs to refine that because his goals he scored for us predominantly are 1v1s or tap-ins, which is great. That's what his role is. That's his role in this team. Jorginho Ruta's role is to create the chances, right? Same with Somerville. Same with Nonto. You know, same with Anthony. Same with Dan James. These are the guys that are feeding him the goals. And also, at Leeds United, they have the responsibility of chipping in with 10 15 goals a season as well. Whereas at Swansea, Joe Perreault was that man. He was the main striker. He was the guy who got them the goals that kept them mid-table, right? We're looking for more goals. We need more from our attackers as a team, not as an individual. And that's why everyone has a responsibility to score. But the main responsibility of Joe Perreault in that role is to score. With Jorginho Ruta, the main responsibility is to stretch the play to allow space for Joe Perreault to run in late in the box to create space for the other players. That's the roles of these players. And to hear Daniel Farke talking about the way in which he's took these teams and these strikers at teams and made them top strikers in each league is something hearing a manager really believe in himself and really go into deep detail about his system, the way he likes to play, whether you agree with what he's saying or not, as someone who, I don't know more than Daniel Farke, not even 2%, 1%, someone that's learning, I'll take that on board and think, right, how can this be applied in every situation? You know, self-belief, believing in yourself, believing in the players you have, believing in your system, believing in your past, your record that you've had with these strikers. That experience is important. And that's why I'm willing to back the manager in his decision and not try to fight it, because I don't know the truth. But what I do know, when Jorginho Ruta plays, the attributes he has suit what we need from that position. It's trying to find a way to make Joe Perreault effective. That's the problem. And that's the thing I'm trying to do. And look, like he said, when he scores a goal, it's fine. When he doesn't, he's not a 10. And it's about the moments in games where he has those oppositions around the box, where he's not taking the most of it sometimes. Then he also said he's scoring goals. What, 4 in 7? That's a good record. You keep that up, you're going to be top goal scorer in the league, you know? So, love it. I love hearing that stuff. It's inspiring as someone who's learning about football and trying to become better, trying to understand what differentiates, you know what I'm trying to say? I can't speak. Them managers from the elite, in terms of football managers that have made it, they're the elite, all of them. Because they've made it. And it's truly, like, interesting to me. And I love it. And going into the Bristol game, you know, I'm just looking forward to it now. I'm not bothered. I'm not nervous by this. They're a good team. You know, they're a decent team. They're a decent team. They play some good stuff. You know, they've got some decent players who can cause you problems. But I'm kind of getting into the thing in this league now where, yeah, every team does, but we play as well as we can. We can beat anyone. That's my mentality of this championship. They do have good players. Of course they do. Whether they park the bus or whether they try go for it, we have to use our quality and be better than them to create 2 or 3 moments in a game where we can win it. Because I believe, in terms of moments, in terms of what we can do in games, we will create better goal-scoring chances than the opposition in most of the games. In any game this season, bar the Southampton one, we have done that. You saw against QPR, they created next to nothing. We had 3 or 4 2 good chances, one of which we scored. 3 good chances. There's creating of one, point blank. That's our Strout, point blank. Those are big chances in games. Another day you score all of them and you're 3-0 up. These are the moments now where we have to be clinical and we have to take these teams to the sword early on and tell them, look, we're not messing around. Don't give them an option. Don't let them sit deep and frustrate us. Get at them early. Be aggressive. Be direct. Enforce your style on them. Not their parking the bus style on us. We'll enforce our style on you. Because that's what we've got. We've got the players to do that. We have the manager with the experience in this league who understands different systems he's going to come up against, having been the dominant side. Dominant in possession, dominant in creating chances, better players. Now let's be sensible. No game's easy in this league because teams set up to not make it easy. That's the whole point. No team's going to... Look, if a team thinks they're going to get less chances against by setting deep, countering, they'll do it. Why would they not? Of course you do. You want to win a football game. You think that's your best chance, you're going to do it. Teams are not just going to come at us. Why not? Because they know sitting deep. Any team in the world struggles more against a team sitting deep than a team that comes at you when you have the better players, when you're better on the ball. Because it negates space. It negates your better players because everything's compact. They can't use their attributes effectively because everything's compact. They can't do it. You sit deep. That's a natural thing. It's hard to break down low blocks. We're not the only team in the world that struggles with that. Every team does. Man City struggle with it. Difference is they're absolutely unbelievable world-class players all over the park. So they will create 2 or 3 big chances a game whenever teams do that. Teams struggle against it. That's why teams do it. That's a counter of it. That's a counter of playing a better side. You sit deeper. You defend. And then you lose 2 or 3 players to create counters and create moments to score. Or you get set pieces. Use them effectively. That's how football is, people. It's not easy to break down a low block for anyone in the world. That's why teams do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. It'd be pointless. But yeah. Look, whether they play that, whether they come out, some good players, Jason Knight, I'm looking at there. Good player. Decent keeper, Max O'Leary. Don't really know much of them, to be honest. But yeah, some decent players. Naki Wells, we all know of him. Tough game. Championship game, though. One in which we're capable of winning. Let's get behind the team. Let's back them because last game going international break, let's just put down another statement and tell the league, yep, we're here. We have the manager. We have the players. Let's just do it. Right, let's go into this international break feeling happy and refreshed and come back ready and firing to go. Because I can't wait. And hopefully after that break, we'll have a few more returning. Jed Spence, closer. Can't wait to see Jed Spence in this team. I cannot wait. He will transform the way we attack. Because his attributes are ridiculous. Especially in a system where the fullback will be allowed to attack. I'm excited for that. I can't wait for this game. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this game. As after this, I'll quickly on my way to football. I'll be reading the comments and replying. So shout out to you lot on the other video. I appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate the support. Let's get this win, boys, and let's just move on and get up that league, please. Let's not be complacent. Let's be clinical.